Welcome back to another theory video for Silo. I'm Dan. That's Julia. And today, Jules, we're going to talk season 2 expectations for Silo. We're going to read some of your comments and see if we can figure out where Jules is going and where we're headed as fans, what we can expect for season 2. So before we get into it, Jules, we hit our goal. We got 2,000 subscribers. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
So we're going to announce the winner of the Regal Unlimited giveaway at the end of the video. And this isn't going to be the last giveaway. We're going to do one at 5,000, 10,000. Every time we hit a milestone, we're going to do a giveaway. The prizes will keep getting better and better as we go along. But I'll tell you what, 3 months of Regal Unlimited, that's pretty cool. I'm happy with this giveaway. All right, we need to figure out what Jules is up to. What are her options? Where can she go? And there's a couple really good comments here that are going to try to break that down. I think we're off to a good start with trying to crack the case for what season 2 could be all about. And remember, we don't read the books and tell you what's going to happen from the books. This is theories for the show. There may be a direction that they're clearly headed to because of the books, but also, again, they could change it. So we're going to focus on what could happen with the show, not what did happen with the books.
Yeah, like please no spoilers.
And people have been really cool about that in the comments. They're like, someone was like, oh, I read the books. I know what's going to happen, but I still like hearing what you guys think is going to happen. And that's the point.
That's so nice.
We're just trying to figure out what could happen. So first up, we got a comment from Demauer76. And I'm starting with this one on purpose because it's out there. And that's what I say. Put your craziest theories in the comments, and they're a lot of fun. So this one's fun.
Those are my favorite.
So they say, my far out theory is that Bernard isn't human, with every silo having a Bernard, most probably AI synthesis. AI versus human war is why Earth is fried. They keep each other's existence of a silo a secret as to create more compliant, obedient society, as this creates more fear of going against the grain. Because you know you don't want to be that one dick that ends all life. Taking the story parallel to stories like The Matrix and Terminator, just showing a different kind of story involving AIs. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to read. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but
me either, but that's cool. And I gotta be honest, when you said that he's not human, my first thought was, oh my God, he's a lizard person.
Did you see that video on the plane?
That motherfucker back there is not real.
Oh my God. Maybe that could be true. You know, we'll see if everyone has a Bernard. I just think it's going to be something more grounded than this.
But it's fun to like theorize about it.
It's fun. That's why I wanted to read it. I thought that was definitely, I mean, that'd be a crazy curveball if that happens. So, Demauer, if you're right, tip my hat.
Number 2 is from Dr. Mr. Awesomeness, which is a fantastic name. And Dr. Mr. Awesomeness says, you all made me really think about it. I didn't think she was going to survive, but realistically, each and every silo has the same camera. You wouldn't risk a revolution by not letting some random person in. I'm not sure what the other silos are like, but I imagine that Bernard was going to warn the other silos of her arrival. Just a theory. Dan responded back to that and said, we have hope that she finds the rebel silo group, and at least one of them has to be like that. So I kind of hope she does also.
That is my biggest hope for season 2, that she finds a group of like-minded people that are just like her, that are going to stop at nothing to expose the truth, and she finds herself at a silo that's already been taken over. There's no more lies. Everybody knows what's really outside. Everybody knows there's other silos, and there's no secrets. I think that would be so cool if she found herself at a place like that. That would be cool.
But do you think the odds are good that that's going to be the first silo she tries to get into?
Definitely not, but it might be the first one that lets her in. Maybe.
Like, what if the first one that she goes to is like a bunch of savages? Like, it's just cavemen.
I mean, what are the chances that someone's going to see her and immediately let her in and not lock her up? And that's what I hope doesn't happen.
Right.
I don't want her to immediately just be imprisoned and it's like, oh, well, now what? So that's why I'd rather her find a like-minded group, you know, the people that are curious and they want to figure out what's really going on. They have a community that there aren't really no secrets, but they're still limited to what they actually know. And they're like, well, we know this, you know, we know this and that, but we don't know why they're doing any of this. We don't know why they put the fake screens into their visors.
Right.
So I think that would be cool.
I think it's either that or she somehow manages to find some rando that miraculously survived in the desert. I don't really see
exactly.
the odds of that being high.
Yeah, I mean, she's not going to be outside for very long. Who's to say how long that tape would even hold up for? She's probably running against a clicking talk right now anyway. I think season 2, episode 1, she'll find herself inside a different silo. Okay, so next up, I think, Jules, that it's pretty safe to say that people's biggest thoughts on season 2 are going to be based around where could Jules go? And then the second one has to be Bernard. What was he doing when he went to run into that room with the 18 key? Was he going to talk to someone higher up? Was he going to warn someone? What was Bernard up to in that moment? So this next one, there's more thoughts on Bernard, so I wanted to point this out. So this is from Isaac Ho 8230. I don't think Bernard knows about the other silos nor their origin. His mission is represented in the statement of "we do not know." He does what he does to keep the silos safe. That means he has to cross the line sometimes, but he doesn't know anything beyond their silo. I think a lot of the key information was concealed and not passed down from previous generations. The faulty tape and the VR visor are both methods of control that was passed down to Bernard, but not originated from him. So this one is kind of saying that Bernard's more in the dark than maybe some people might think. And I kind of tend to sway the other way, where I think he knows a lot more than we've been shown. So what side are you on?
So I can see where both sides would make sense. Like, you know how Sims is with Bernard, like he knows most of the things, but not all the things.
Right.
Just like certain, whatever he needs to know, he knows. So I can see that being Bernard's relationship with a higher up or whatever. But I think I'm with you. I think he knows a lot more than he's saying. The confidence in which he says stuff. And like, yeah, I get this, the whole, like, we don't know. We don't know where this came from. We don't know why we can't go outside. There's plenty of people who know more than Bernard thinks. So who's to say that he doesn't know like a ton more than everybody else knows?
Yeah, that whole "we do not know" speech that they give right before someone goes outside.
We do not know why we are here. We do not know who built the silo. We do not know when it will be safe to go outside.
That's just one of the practices that they like have to do. It's like a guideline that they follow. It's like a ritual, right? So I don't think he necessarily means all those words that he's saying. It's just part of the whole thing. Right. It's this whole smoke screen.
And he's got to know something. He got mad when Juliette stole the heat tape, right? So like he obviously knows that that's something that's very important to said ritual. And the way he reacted to Juliette making it over that hill.
She knows. Knows what?
He was like, she knows.
She knows. Yeah. So like, what does she know? He has to know what she knows.
Yeah. And then that made him go run with that 18 key fob and go to some room. And, you know, I think personally, I think that's him going to maybe warn someone or to follow her next steps. Maybe they have additional cameras that they can see more and not just their cameras. I think that maybe. he was taking steps to prevent further damage. That's what his main goal was in that scenario. But I think he knows more than he's leading on.
Yeah. So do you think he has, say he does know about these other silos, do you think that he has some kind of communication with them?
I would assume so. Yeah. I would think that he does.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because I know someone said like he might have been like running to warn the others. So that might have been the comment you just read. I mean, he has to, right? Because why would they be so worried about people going outside?
The biggest clue kind of is that 18 key fob. Yeah, what is 100%. That? That's got to be
their silo number.
Yeah. It's got to be their silo number. And it's got to be some way to communicate with the others.
Like, I can't imagine them being like, this 18 is for this door, but I'm not telling you what it is.
And yeah, I think maybe that room he went into is the only place you can communicate with the other silos. Maybe it's something like that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You know, some people think he doesn't know as much as we think. So you got to hear all sides, really.
Okay. So we have a comment from our lovely friend, Matilda. Matilda says, there might be a silo where other people have done what Juliette has done, like a rebel silo. And then John Freeman 9682 responds and says, absolutely. Jules will be the new leader of rebellion and organize with other bunkers. They will try to leave the silo to look for New Eden and green trees and blue skies, which lies far outside the silo.
See, that's
very interesting.
It's interesting, but like, do you think she really walks into a new silo and just immediately becomes the leader? Yeah, I don't think that's possible. Unless they're so blown away by her escaping and surviving.
Being able to escape and get there. And she's like, you know, she escapes and gets to these other places. She's almost like a prophet to these people.
Yeah, that's true.
If freaking Jesus walked into your silo and was like, hey guys, I'm here. I was outside and it's fine. Wouldn't you be like, all right, dude, take the reins. Show us where to go.
That's why I really hope she ends up in a silo with like-minded individuals. I think that would be the best case scenario, not only for her.
She's screwed. And we're going to have to watch her struggle to get out all over again. And I don't think they're going to repeat that for season 2.
I hope not. This would be so much better.
Now, do you think that John Freeman was right when he says that there's all of this like greenery outside of like the area where all the silos are? But do you think that there's a radius
where it's only bad in certain spots? I mean, that is possible, but I would think not. I think that truly is toxic outside everywhere and you can't go outside. I think that part is true.
Now, what if they find like an above ground silo? This is going to be so ridiculous. You've seen SpongeBob, right?
Yeah.
You know Sandy's dome?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
Is what I'm picturing.
So someone else commented on this thread. Their name is Space Case Z06. And they say, I've started to develop a hypothetical scenario where the last rebellion resulted in the segregation of silos. Love that. Imagine that the silos were at one point connected and the tunnel was open, but a ceasefire was negotiated to where the rebels secluded themselves in one side, leaving the rest in another side. Suppose that the agreement stipulated that they remain separated for at least 4 generations and until there were no survivors of the original rebellion nor their immediate offspring. This would be a one-time deal and any future uprising would result in immediate termination. And Maxi Mustard said red pill silo. That's really cool. I like that a uprise caused this segregation because they're like,
now,
they're too informed. We have to
right.
pull back a little bit.
Yes. So that makes me think of the big door. Remember how we talked about last video that, what if that's an entrance to like underground tunnels that connect these silos?
I hope
but
so.
Like, what if something similar to that happened and they closed that off and filled that bottom part with water so that people couldn't get to that door or come through the other side of that door?
I mean, honestly,
does that make sense?
Is there another option that could be behind that door than a tunnel that leads to other silos? I mean,
There
I guess,
could be,
but that seems like the leader of what could
It
happen.
seems like the only thing that makes sense, especially because it's so difficult to get to it and like only like Juliette and maybe like one other person know about it.
Right.
It would make sense if that's something that they wanted to keep secret and as far away from people as possible.
I think that's most likely the case, and I think so. But I really like this one from Space Case of saying, the last rebellion resulted in the segregation of silos. That's really cool. That's possibly accurate. It possibly is.
It's something very plausible.
Yeah, it is.
Like
and I
in real life, I could totally see that happening.
Yeah, and then they're like, they know too much. We really got to pull back the information. We got to close them off a little more. Or this is going to happen again and again and again. So yeah, I like that a lot. All right, before we wrap up here, we have to do our giveaway, but I do want to let you guys know we're open to do another one of these theory videos. If you want to comment more theories, or if you'd rather see a live stream, let us know that. We'll do one of the two.
Yeah.
And we're gearing up for the Afterparty season 2, which starts next week. And we're going to be covering it every week. And then next month, Only Murders in the Building, we're going to be covering that as well. So that's so you guys know our upcoming schedule. And then, of course, the From fans that we have, we're going to be covering From as a side project. So I don't know when those videos are going to come out, but it will come out relatively soon. All right, giveaway time. So thanks so much for all the new subscribers and everyone who commented. This is not your only chance to win something. We're going to keep doing giveaways as long as we're doing this channel. We're going to be doing giveaways. The winner is Nikisha Moore. Congratulations. Again, if you're not in the USA, we'll just give you $60 to your favorite store. If you're in the US, I suggest you take the pass and you go to as many movies as possible. It's so much fun.
So worth it.
It's a blast. You can go every day. You can go multiple times a day. It's all free. So enjoy that pass, Nikisha, and thank you so much for subscribing. And thank you everyone for watching. Let us know. Would you rather see a Silo live stream next week or one more theory video? Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.